This is going to be a short series about character sniping. Character sniping, very important in Total War Warhammer. And there are different ways to combat character sniping. One of them, I've tried to illustrate it here, is to have your general or lord on foot and have him behind several units. So most of the time, depending on the faction you're facing, you're going to have a choice to either have your wizard be on foot or flying. Both have their advantages. When your wizard is flying, he's very fast. He can move to where he's needed on the battlefield. He can get a great vantage point with direct line of sight to enemy lords and not be intercepted by any troops that are in his way. However, he also becomes vulnerable, much more vulnerable to missiles and much more vulnerable to flyers. So it comes at a cost. But we'll see, we'll just illustrate here what I'm talking about. So I have a bright wizard that's flying, and I have a bright wizard on foot. So the bright wizard on foot sends out a fireball. The fireball flies around at about 1.5 meters above the ground, something like that. We'll see when the fireball reaches the zombies here. Assuming the zombies are about man-sized. So yeah, maybe 180 above the ground, depending on how tall these zombies are. Now the fireball goes through the zombies, isn't intercepted, and hits the necromancer in the face, takes out about 1/4 of his health. So you can get lucky. The zombies are not in a compact formation. The fireball hits very well and knocks him down. That's another point about character sniping. You can get exceptionally lucky and you can get exceptionally unlucky. So, but let's see here. He also killed 13 zombies, this bright wizard. Now this bright wizard is going to try to do the same. He's going to try to snipe the necromancer. So the fireball travels down, and for all intents and purposes, a fireball or any kind of magical missile is a missile. So let's see if the missile does more damage to the necromancer than the fireball from down below. What you'll notice about the fireball is that it homes in on the necromancer. Even though the necromancer is moving away, it homes in on the necromancer. So it's a homing fireball. And it took out about 700 of the necromancer's master necromancer's health there, and explodes behind him. Now let's just go back to normal speed. Another fireball from the wizard on foot. Let's see what happens. Goes through the zombies. Let's see how much damage. 12. Let's see, it's going to be a 1260 something health, maybe 1270. So about 650 something damage from the fireball on foot. It doesn't explode on the wizard himself. It touches him, but it doesn't explode on him. And now for the final flying fireball. See how much damage that does. So it hits him, about the same amount of damage. So what's interesting to me with this little test is that although it says that the fireball is pour from a low angle, I think I forget what the exact tooltip there is, something like pour from a low angle. It does about the same amount of damage to the master necromancer with each hit. Now, for a character that would have a lot of armor, let's say 100 armor, presumably the variation in damage is going to be bigger. But in this particular case, when you're firing through a unit loosely spaced like the zombies, what you'll note, the bright wizard on foot did equally well as the flying bright wizard. The poor necromancer got hit quite a lot by that fireball. Now, that might be due to the mechanics of the fireball being homing, while other spells might not be as accurate as the fireball. Also, the Master Necromancer on foot doesn't have a lot of armor, doesn't have any kind of missile block, so the Master Necromancer is very, very vulnerable to character sniping, and even from the fireballs of both the Bright Wizard on foot and from the flying Bright Wizard. And there's something to be said for choosing the wizard on foot when you're fighting the undead, because the undead have an abundance of flyers that can both protect the characters and that can go and assassinate your flying characters. There's of course a lot more to be said about this. With if you keep your character close to a witch hunter that has accusation, keep him close to Karl Franz, stuff like that, then things start to look very, very different indeed. But just from the results of this short test and a few others, the Bright Wizard on foot seemed to do as well as the flying Bright Wizard in this sort of very contained, structured scenario where you're only facing zombies. Now, on a different map with different armies, the results could be different, but I quite like that the Wizard on foot is able to do a decent job here. Strength and honor.